Hi, I'm Jackson Dirks, and I'm going to go over my revisions I did to my problem-solving skills, Raspberry Pi, and APA writing. Before I begin, I want to go over the stuff that I would revise, but I don't really have a spot for it on my storyboard map that I can't put in. One of the big issues I ran into was time. There wasn't a lot of time for my student to do the projects and then also create an APA paper. So what I would do next time I do this is I would add in more time and give my student more time. Hopefully they can do more advanced projects and feel like they have a little bit more time. I feel like I was rushing my student and they were just not doing the best work on their APA or feeling like they were letting me down by not getting it down. So I would add in more time by those standards. The other thing I would add in, I actually got from the backwards design model, is that I would probably get rid of the Raspberry Pi thing and switch it with student interest module. But I didn't want to just reset it all and then it just destroy everything I worked on real quickly. And I wanted to keep this around in case because I liked using this model too. But I would change it to a student interest model and have that work on and have them work on that. For instance, I have another student who's not interested in writing but loves to learn about birds. So they can do some research on birds and then write an APA paper over that using these steps, just a little changing around, probably maybe not three Raspberry Pi projects or do a project over three different birds and then give them an essential question about the three birds to have them write in APA format. The backwards design model. I was talking about the backwards design model from the instructionaldesign.org reading that we had in the story. Um, the other thing I wanted to add is the ISTE to Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll go back. So another thing I added in my actions was I wanted to add a spot for my students to reflect what they learned on and for them to have revisions as well. So in the APA paper, I will have my students also design a section over what they have worked on and what they believe was the most interesting and what surprised them the most about the research with their projects. I believe this will give students some time to really feel what they've learned and go over how far they've come and see the growth. Sometimes gifted kids don't see the growth if they don't see huge leaps in learning. So hopefully this will help them out and understand that they are growing in knowledge and this will be very effective for them. Another thing I added was a practice activity, was a guided practice. This activity I talked about in my final paragraph at the bottom is I will have my students grab one of their old papers and then turn their old paper into APA format. I did this because this will allow my student to focus less on gathering research and then writing and just writing new words and stuff. This will this will help them understand what an APA paper should look like, and this can help my students think of ideas and notes while they're designing or creating the projects. The main point of I added this practice was for is so that they could have an activity where the focus was solely on what APA should look like and what it sounds like. Not what it sounds like, but what it looks like and how it should be designed and how it should look like, and really pounding in the knowledge of what APA should look like. Uh, and then I believe with the combinations of all the assessments I've had it with them designing projects, the rubric, them designing projects, them writing APA papers, them going over the APA guided practices and stuff like that. I believe that could be a real clear indicator of what uh, what they have learned and how much growth they have had in this module that I created. And then another IST standard that I didn't really uh, that I added in the first one and that I've thought of more, but I couldn't find a good spot to put this in because it wasn't really in my unit, is to work with other departments and get teachers to come in and make one big project with maybe add in the APAT, maybe see if you could add in the social studies teacher and the English teacher into a project and create a really big joint project for the kid, have it relate to his history class and then to his English class, and let him work through three teachers. And with, I believe, with three teachers, we can collaborate to make a very strong learning objective for a student or learn and help our student learn a little bit more. And then I hope that would come out of ISD 2.4a, which would be students working together, which would be collaborating with the classmates. All in all, I went over it, and I think this would be a really good idea if I have more time. I added in that assessment that solely focused on what APA should look like, and I'm really excited to try and uh, use this module or storyboard activity with another form of it, not just the Raspberry Pi, but add it into something more to make it a more interesting assignment for my kids. Yep, that's what I have.